My name is Manal Lovell, and I'd like to take you behind the spotlight in the journey of a backing vocalist. It takes discipline, passion, and commitment. So come on, take this journey with me. I'm a backing vocalist for the Big Short Tent and also for Soca Royale. I believe that my contribution is important because I see myself as a vocalist and not just a backing vocalist. I do believe that my role is valued because some artists do respect me as a musician and not just see me as a backup. So I do believe that some artists do value the time and energy that I put in as a backing vocalist. The changes I would make is that we will be more identified. I find that every year we're forgotten, especially as seasonal singers. I think we're forgotten. Everyone focuses in on the solo artists and forget that there's a full sound behind them. Not just the musical instruments, but their vocal instruments behind a lead singer. So I think that I would give us more recognition. I think I would love to see a change in that backing vocalists are more recognized as importance in the music as well. I do believe that backing vocals is an art in itself. The time and effort and commitment that you have to put into doing backing vocals is tremendous. It takes up so much energy and effort to put in the time to go and do just one song. The time that you have to think about the vocals, the cue, the melody of a song. It is so much that we have to keep in our heads. So I do think that it's an art because it's so much work that is put into it. It is a profession and it is seasonal. Why I say it's a profession because I've been doing it for a long time. As long as I knew myself, I have been a backing vocalist. And I've been doing it now for 16 years. Yeah, for 16 years. And it's also seasonal because right now, I'm a seasonal backing vocalist with the Big Short Tent and also with the Soca Royale band. So it was a combination of both things for me. I have been privileged to have worked with some really good musical directors. Not every moment, but I've had some experiences that I wasn't given the respect that I would have gotten with others. They didn't respect my role as a musician. And I think for me, it made me look at the fact that, okay, it made me question, like, at one point, is this what I do, if this is what I want to continue to do? And then I had to remember, like, I really worked with some good people. I had the opportunity to sing behind some really good artists out there and some really great musicians in Barbados and outside of Barbados. So I would say that some musical directors do respect the fact that I am a musician as well and not think that I'm just there sitting down doing oohs and ahs. When I first started doing backing vocals, I trained every single day. It was a routine, a scheduled routine for me. But over the years, over the time working with different people, because sometimes you get, deterred of, because it's not the same as it was before with everyone you work with. For anyone that wants to pursue doing backing vocals, I advise that you be committed. You have to love doing it. You have to put in the time in training, practicing at home, listening over and over to tracks until it comes automatic when you get on stage. And you have to be determined to want to learn. You have to be able to deal with working with others because you're going to come around a lot of different personalities that sometimes you don't want to work with. And you have to be professional. Basically, you've got to have a love for it. If you don't have a love for backing vocals, it doesn't make sense pursuing it as a profession. I believe that my role, and I'm sure I can speak for other backing vocalists, that is very important and significant in our cultural arts because we are part of a pot. You have the musicians who probably are the dumplings and sweet potatoes in the soup. And we're the seasoning and the okras and the meats that add to this pot. Everyone fits as a whole. You cannot have a lead singer without the music and the musical instruments. You cannot have a lead singer without the backing vocalist. You can't have backing vocalists without a lead singer. You cannot have musicians and music without the vocals. So we're part of a pot. So we're part of a cultural pot, and I think that my role as a backing vocalist is very significant because I do add the seasoning to the pot. No moment required. Together, together, together. Ayana, ladies. Ayana, face we. Ayana, ladies. Ayana, make we. Pong, 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 pong. Pong, 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 pong. My country, one song that I want, one song I must get. Okay. One song that you want, one song you will hear. Okay, one of the most important things you must do before you actually do a gig is to warm up the voice. I do the smallest things. I do like a ragdoll. There's something called the ragdoll. It's a faster warm-up than actually doing like a scale to warm up my voice, and I jog on the spot. And sometimes I sing the song as I'm jogging and open up my lungs. There's an exercise you do to open up your lungs. That's what I do to do a quick warm-up like before I go on stage.
Warming up is very important. I do my basic classical skills as we would have learned. It's choir. I started in choir, so that is what I know to do. So you just do your skills and make sure that the voice is nice and warm.
So mine is not as intense as that. Although I could do it, I typically don't have the time because I'm normally coming from work. So I might just sing songs on the way home, sing songs on the shower, and eventually by the time the show time, it should be okay to sing the show.
Hi, I'm Jadon Knight. I am one of the background vocalists for The Big Show. Is my role valued by the artist? Depends on the artist. I find the more seasoned artists, why can't I say that? depends on the artist. Some artists are very easy to work with. Some are more difficult to work with, and they might not value your role as much as others. I think over the years you get to learn who is easy to work with, who is not so easy to work with, who values you as an artist, who doesn't value it as an artist, and you just tend to move to suit. Okay, what changes would they make? I think that I would like persons to understand the value of time. If you tell me to be somewhere at a specific time for a rehearsal or for a sound check or for anything that relates to the performance, it's still a job. Let's try to be as professional as possible. So if the time to be at this sound check is 7, I don't really think after doing this for so long that you should show up at 7 for a sound check, and then the sound check doesn't happen until 2 hours later. Or I think that's one of the biggest pet peeves from doing this for so long, is to show up at a sound check or a rehearsal for a certain time and it doesn't start on time. That's something I would change. So because it doesn't reflect well. It doesn't make me feel like you respect my time if you tell me something as a background vocalist. and then you had no intention of moving to that thing. So yeah, good backing vocals is an art. So I think good backing vocalists have to learn to blend with each other, one, and then be able to listen to each frontline artist and see what they need to do, or what you need to do rather as a background vocalist to complement what they're doing. So they cannot be a soft singer and you try to drown them out. They cannot be a powerful singer and you don't blend with them. You have to learn to blend all around. So blend with your counterparts in the background vocal line and then learn to blend with the frontline artist. So this would be a second job for me. I tend to look at it as Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, kind of that vibe. So I do have a day job and I do lots of background vocals. So it is a second job, but not looked at with any less professionalism. I've worked with some musical directors who don't value you as a musician, so they might tend to think they need to spoon feed you, even though you might know as much as they do. Some others might look at you and say, and then some might give you the leeway to do what you need to do as an artist, and some might not spoon feed you, but guide you in what they want for their production. So it all kind of depends on who the MD is. And I've kind of worked with many different styles. Learn to sing, one, right? The second thing is to learn to deal with a lot of personalities. I find this job is more about learning to work well with a lot of different types of personalities. And once you're able to master that art and you can sing, this job becomes a lot easier. I would hope that my role after doing this for so long does add value. If I think about how I approach even if I approach a season, I would tend to approach a season production by production or show by show. And if I think that I am called to do a production because I'm called frequently now, I would hope that people are calling me because I add value and not because I'm available, if that makes sense. So I would hope that by now my role adds value.
Engineer for the session though is going to be Andrew Griffith. Then we have a cameraman here, and we good.
Who's that man in Carson?
That man there and that green thing there's a fraud. Ready up? Yes. All right, we go, people.
We do love to party. Yes, we love to dance. It's coming. It's coming. Cause it is not easy. It's coming.
the, I think it's the section before the guitar, so let me do a more active bass drum thing. Yeah, let me do a more active, don't just do a straight one. So, but make it symmetrical. So if you do 1, 2, something like that. When you hear it again, know what you want to hear again. Each member of the band is equally important. The background vocalists, they are carry equal weighting within the band. Without them, we won't be a complete unit. And even if one background vocal is missing, it affects the overall harmony within the unit as itself. So the background vocalists bring very much importance to the band as a whole. The main challenge that we would have with background vocalists at the festival level is, one, if a new background vocalist comes in to the unit, we have to make sure that that person's voice can gel with the voices that we have present in the unit already. If there are not a person who is very easy to catch the lyrics, then that creates a problem too when it comes to putting the rehearsals together. We try to encourage the background vocals to work together as a unit before we add them to the band. And once they can gel as a unit, then that makes the challenges that we would face putting the music together a lot easier. The role of the band is very important, the way how it is structured within our festival. If you take a close look at any of the footage of our national events, the band is present on stage with the artists and the dancers. So the role of the band is very significant in our overall production within the festival. When we are doing grand rehearsals, we work on lighting as how it would affect the band, positioning of props to see how it affects the band. So the band is actually part of the show when it comes to our national festival. At the festival level, I would like the day to come where our background vocalists can read musical charts. If they can read musical charts, it will make rehearsals a lot easier, because us, the arrangers, we can score the background vocal parts, representing the pitches and the words that they would have to sing. And once they're capable of reading, then they can prepare that at home and come straight to rehearsals, and we can put the whole show together a lot easier. Currently, a lot of our vocalists do music mainly by ear and are not trained musicians to the extent of the instrumentalists. A lot of them have a passion and a love for music, and they make their contribution in that way. But if they can enhance their skills by learning to read music, I'm sure the standards within the background vocal unit would improve 100-fold. Yeah, the background vocalists, they are very important to the band as a whole. The function of the background vocalist is to provide the supporting harmony for the lead vocals and help make the vocal arrangement a lot fuller. And for any persons out there looking to get involved in the unit of a background vocalist, make sure that you attend vocal coaching. Make sure that you have a love for music. Develop a discipline of being on time, learning your parts before you actually come to the rehearsals, and make it a habit of continuing to train and develop your craft. For those who are the seasoned professionals, the main thing is to take care of your instrument, which is the voice, and continue your coaching and development, because music being an art, we all have to continue to practice and develop our craft so we can remain at the highest level within the art form.
Yeah, here. You good there? Yeah. All right, they're good. They're good.
My name is Mary Reese. I am currently a backing vocalist with The Big Show, and I've been doing this for 18 years. I've been doing backing vocalist, yeah. Also with the Bacchanal Time Calypso tent. It's just something that I enjoy. First of all, anything that I do, anything I enter into, I do it because it is something that I love, something that I want to do, and so there's always some importance to it. And to me, it's a whole part of the performance and the artist. The artist to me is telling a story, and I think I have an important role to play in this. So, yeah, I think it's pretty important. So for the most part, I think my role is valued by the artist. Why I'll say that too, because it depends on the artist that you're working with. And I choose gigs very carefully. And so the persons that I have worked with, I can comfortably say that I have been valued, my role has been valued by them. They see the professionalism and the excitement that I put into what I do. And, you know, I do have some ideas of my own. If you let me, I go crazy, and they appreciate that, and so I think that they do appreciate what I do. What changes I'd made? Let's start with the crop over. Yeah, let's start there, because I mean that's the bulk of it right now that I'm involved in, and I think that for the most part, people just see us as, you know, an add-in and not a part of the whole cultural experience. So you have all the Calypsonians, quote unquote, in all the other tents that are allowed to go to any of the shows, you know, because you have a pass, okay? And so to the NCF or the powers that be, yes, these have made a contribution to the whole crop over festival. They've made a contribution to the festival because they're the Calypsonians and they sing a song or two during the tents, during the years. But the backing vocals, who are there from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, who make the show, you understand? And they're at the semifinals and the finals and all sorts. You're just left out. So it's like, well, it's not important. You have not done anything you haven't done anything for the festival yet. If the backing vocals don't do their job, somebody would have the gall to look back like, no, it can't work both ways. It really cannot work both ways. So it's either you're important to the festival or you're not. And that is one thing that I would like to see change, and it's not only the Calypsonians in this instance, but the powers that be would see that we do actually make a contribution to the festival, because it is a whole show, it's a production. That is what it is. Backing vocalist is definitely an art. As I said, I keep saying throughout this, it is part of a production. That's what I see it as. It is a performance, it's a production. Because you would not want to go out there, spend your hard-earned money on writing a song or having somebody write the song for you in most instances, as I said. Go pay a producer, go in the studio, spend time, you have to pay this money, and then you come up, it's a great production, well, in most cases, it's a great production, and then you come out and you're doing this performance live, and then, you know, you just have anything going on behind you. You wouldn't want that, because it is your hard-earned money that you spend. And so when you come, especially to a live performance, I find a live performance is even more difficult than a studio performance, because you can go into the studio and listen like a sound like Whitney Houston in the studio, because the engineers can do what they like with me, and that's fine. But when it comes to a live performance, it is just you on that day or on that night, and you can either make or break that performance. And so that is why it's an art. And so I get a little peeved when people just think, okay, well, you're coming to a show, somebody calls you for a show, you turn up the night and say, okay, what's the song? And you just do anything that you want to do in the song. You don't take the time to learn the song. You don't take time to learn the lyrics. And learning the lyrics, I mean, it has nothing to do with whether you have a stand there with you or your iPad or whatever, because I've seen many international shows and the backing vocals have their things in front of them. So it's not that, but you have to learn the song and you have to know the song intimately in order to deliver the song and to make that whole experience, well, I'll call it that, make that performance into an experience for the person that is coming to pay their money as well to enjoy the show. For me, it's a part-time gig because professionally I am a tax associate, but I love singing, and I don't take it as just a do a thing, or as people call it, a try a thing, or part-time kind of gig. This is my second job. That's why I'll call it. Musical directors, well, it all depends. If I am speaking to the tent, I think, and in all fairness to them, they have so many things to deal with, and it is such a tight-packed season, and the Calypsonians don't make life any easier. So crop over comes the same time every year. Crop over like Christmas. Crop over like Easter, that you have to guess, well, it's going to be all this story, it's going to be this. It's the same time every year, right? But some people, when stardom hits, I figure they think, well, I can do anything, I can turn, because I am good, I can turn up with a song at this time. And it puts the musical director under pressure. And so he is so focused on getting the musical aspect of it correct. And there are about 10 of them or so that he has to deal with, and there are only 3 of us. So unless something is really, really wrong, that you hear something that goes, "Ooh, gospel, what is that?" You might not get the same attention that is needed that the bandsmen will get. In another more relaxed forum, because I've done backing vocals as well for bands, Jegna I used to sing with, and some other gigs that persons like Adrian Husbands, another good band leader, would have put together. And because it's more relaxed and you have more time, a lot more time then in those forums are spent on the backing vocalist to make sure that all the harmonies are correct. I know John Roy was a stickler for that in Jegna. And so it depends then on, one, the level of professionalism of that band leader, and in all fairness to them, especially in the tent arena, the pressure that they're under. I think too that a lot of times that people only give you what you give them. So if you see the job as nothing, I'm just a backing vocalist, I just hear it sticking in the back, I'm not part of the whole performance, then that is how people will view you as well. So if you say, well, that's the artist and that's the showman out there and that's the professional, and you don't take yourself seriously either, that's how people will see you. So as a singer, because that's what a backing vocalist is as well, as a singer, you need also to take that training. Some people are not professionally trained as singers, and okay, there's probably nothing wrong with that, but where you can look to improve yourself vocally, that is something that you should look to do as well for yourself. As I said, going back to being the professional, and if you take this on as if you were, it was any 9 to 5, you do not go into anybody's place. And this is a pet peeve for me. You do not go into anybody's place looking like you're going to the shop. So why are you going to choose to go on a stage looking like you're going to feed the dog? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it is all about what you portray, because what you give is what you get. So as a backing vocalist, you have a role in this whole production. So the lead singer can't be doing one thing and you're doing something completely different, and they think, okay, we're at 2 different shows altogether. It doesn't work. Let me go into another segment. Permit me to. We have gotten to the stage, because when I first started to sing, I mean, really, and not so long ago when you look at other people, but when I first started, it was about singing, and it was about the actual live vocals. We've gotten to this stage now where we've gone into the stems, okay? And whereas I could probably say, okay, well, people are looking for perfection, and so that is why they introduced this. I would say that there are quite a few international shows that I've watched. I don't got no stems, and these are the big stars. So it's really about being prepared. I think that's what we need to step back a bit and make sure that you're actually prepared for a show. Because if you're prepared for a show, then you can execute. So I said that to say, to bring this into the role of the backing vocalist and culture. We therefore then need to ensure that we groom these singers, that they can actually produce the sound, the quality sound then that the artist is looking for, so that it does not become a diner. You go out and you're just hearing a recording in the background. Because again, let me go back So when I say that I look at myself first and what I don't like for myself, I don't like for others, I'm not going to take my hard-earned money, go to a show, to sit down, to watch a music video, because basically that's what it is. Because if I'm going out and I'm hearing all kinds of things playing in the background and there's no live performance, it's a music video, I can stay home. I don't need to pay money to go to watch that. I am coming to see a live performance. And that, I find, if we do not make sure then that we groom the person that is going to be committed, is going to spend the time to learn the music, so that the artist doesn't think that they have to fall back on these stems, then it is going to be a sad day. And that is a very important role that we have to play to make sure that live music is brought back to Barbados entertainment.
That is normal rehearsal. This is what normally do. Have a talk. Yes, 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 yes.
Well, the transition from session musician to artist was not a planned one. I was in the Party Man Up band for 22 years. I mean, it started as Party Man Up band, then it became to the Soca Royale, and then, you know, the permutations of the band. Anyhow, 22 years that we were in this band, and I was in this band. And I resigned like 2 years ago. Not with any particular plan in place. I just felt I had enough, and I thought somebody else should take over the reins. And at the time, I was also rebuilding my studio, my recording studio. So when it was finished, I said, no, let me just record something so people can know that I'm back on the scene. I'm back out. You know that I'm available for recording and stuff. So I recorded So Happy. And then I was encouraged by a couple of friends. Chris Allman was one, and then some other guys. Well, no, you're into the competition. I said, okay, into the competition. And the song was selected for semifinals. I said, okay, followed that route. Then the song was selected for the finals. Now came the part where you now have to transition, have to be an artist out front and get all the props and all that. So that's really how the transition really happened. It was not a planned thing. It was just a series of events that, you know, related to one another, and it culminated in me being in the finals of the first Soca Mana competition. My suggestion to any person interested in doing background vocals would be to learn the whole song. Learn the whole song. I say that because when you learn the whole song, you know, then you get to see what the background vocals are doing for the song. Once you know the whole thing, don't just learn the ooh ah and the, you know, learn the whole thing, and then you can then reflect and see how what the relation between the background vocals and the lead vocals and the instruments and everything. That'd be the way to approach it. Don't just learn the background vocals. Background vocals are like, if you want your performance to really jump out, you have to have the backing vocals. I know people are very reliant on stems these days and they have the background vocals in there, but when you have live background vocals kicking, nothing can beat it.
Yes, thanks a lot. Backing vocals is not just about the warming up and singing, it's a full package. It's the choreography on stage, it's the costumes, it doesn't necessarily, it's we wear, how you present yourself, how you smile, you know, how you work together as a unit, you know, but when it comes to choreography on stage, we have this lovely lady here who coordinates all of that, especially when we're already on stage.
Correct.
It happens. You have to be. You have to be because you have to be quick. I mean, like backing vocals is that you have to be very quick in everything. You have to be quick with your ears. You have to be quick with your feet. You have to be quick to switch up. Like if I happen to, cause it does happen. Sometimes I do mess up. Everybody does mess up sometimes. And if I sing a wrong harmony, somebody else will pick it up. Then we just, you know, it's a matter of working as a team. Yeah. If you don't work, backing vocals, that's very important. You have to work. If you don't work as a team, it doesn't make sense. Everything just falls apart. And we do work well together. It's on a crap. We do work well together. That's why we're the best. There is.
Just saying.
You know, just saying. You know, we actually do work well together. That's the truth. When it's time to be like, yeah, we be there. Yeah. We be actually focused and we ready to go. Yeah, we really work well together.
Yeah, you must have a chemistry.
You have to. You have to.
Merry crop over! Ho, ho, ho! Yes! I will be present when gifts are sharing. I wanna put out me hand, I must be receiving. I may be naughty, but in a nice way. I never haughty, I mean to say, I'm beyond me A1 behavior to receive me gift this crop over.
Christmas time, Christmas time.
I see Edwin come back in to miss this opportunity. What be a sin? A voice in the head say he could win. Or was it on Facebook in a PM? If he don't get a gift, he ball for murder and run straight right back to me. And crossfire, oh God, we may just retire. Oh Lord, it's Christmas time in crop over. Oh Lord, it's gifts from left, right and center. Oh Lord, just one tune we be singing.
We do love to party. Yes, we love to dance our stress away. Cause it is not easy surviving the pressures of life today. So Mr. DJ man, put on a soca jam. Make me happy, forget me worry. Yes, Mr. Soca man, come with a soca jam. Make me dance away. Music haunts in me, and it making me want to jam up in the party, making me so happy. Haunting me, and it making me want to throw away me worry and dance up in the party. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Come on, sing a little louder.
Must get the hottest flame, and I get burned time and time again. So not a damn thing I have to lose. Paid my dues. Never gifted a silver spoon. Catch bus sometimes I walk to school. Born in the pine, raised in the farm. That's why none of them can do me harm. Cause I've been through the flood and I walk through the fire. Blood, sweat and tears, they call for me to retire. And I crawl through the mud and I push through the mire. When they put me down, I just bounce back higher and higher and higher. Call me the iron. I'm the iron lady. Yes, I'm the iron. Nobody can face me.
On my feet again, I get through. Anybody who don't hail the skipper, you can tell them fuck you. Things tight, and money talk, and a lot of one are singing for free. So Carol carrying out instructions for the mother country, and it is.
Dance our stress away. Pressures of life today. DJ man, soca jam.